Oh, there they are.
Hey,
Colin
everybody.
and Garrett. Hello, guys. I think you guys are muted.
Sorry,
Hi.
my audio was messed up a little bit, but I'm here now.
Cool.
Okay. We got Dylan also coming in. How is everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Great.
I'm really good.
And
How
I
you
think probably everyone heard that this is being recorded, but just to let you know, I do kind of build in public. So I'll be, unless you let me know, I'll be sharing this on Twitter and Facebook and my regular feeds, just so everyone can get an example of the great work you do. But let me know if for any reason you don't want to be public.
Okay. So the agenda was mostly to share with you the ideas that we came up with and any questions that the team may have concerning Gulli Bot or concerning anything else, as well as any questions that you also may have, Mr. Davis.
Sure.
So this is just what we call the customer value journey, which is pretty much what the process or the journey that any customer or any prospect or anybody that we want to serve, if I can put it this way, how we take them from cold, meaning not knowing about us, not knowing about the brand, all the way to pretty much becoming a raving fan and start promoting the brand or the company. And these are different stages that the person will have to go through, all the way from awareness, getting engaged, subscribe to the programs, converting, buying the product, getting a little more excited about it. And here is the ascension, meaning how do we serve them more? So once you have, let's say once you have, or once you start having a lot more Patreon supporters, how do you get them excited? And how do you maybe provide more services for them? And then on here, how do they start become advocating about Gulli Bot and ultimately promoting and becoming a raving fan of Gulli Bot? Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, that sounds great. It's a great way to think about it.
Okay, awesome. So I've sent you a list of the tasks and activities that we'll be doing. I'll just pull it up here so that I am following, but most of it will be around this area, meaning around awareness, getting people engaged, getting people to subscribe to the channel, and eventually know about the brand or know about Gulli Bot. So on here in the awareness section, this is where we had the explainer video, creating that video, telling the story about Gulli Bot, how Gulli Bot was created, and especially the purpose and the why people should care about it. And we also discussed your podcast and YouTube channel. So that's why I put it here as an awareness entry point to get people aware about Gulli Bot. I believe the blog posts, Colin is working on the blog posts as well. And we have Mia that is also working on the newsletters. So these will also be around the awareness part, like getting people aware about it. And on the next run here, I believe, I think it was Garrett. Garrett, do you want to talk about this part here? The Twitter and Reddit hot discussion. I believe that was your idea, right?
Yeah. So just in terms of like news and where I get most of my news from and where I see the most engagement is those sites kind of like Twitter and Reddit, where people are always engaging in the comments and everything. So I feel like if you kind of got your ideas not solely from Twitter and Reddit, but you can find a lot of these people who are very engaged with and like on top of these topics, because those sites are super like, super engaging, super always people on it, So if I, this is just like from like just an idea, but from my perspective, I think if you attack places like Twitter, like Reddit, Instagram also is a good one, but I feel like Twitter and Reddit always has those the trendy news topics, that people are willing to engage in. And then you also find a lot of those experts and people that have reliable sources that you could also put into the Gulli Bot.
Yeah, I'm doing a bit on Twitter and can probably do better with that. On Reddit, do you know of any subreddits that you think would be really kind of good for that?
I don't know any specific ones, but I could definitely do some research, and I could definitely contact you and give you some of those reliable ones that will definitely be like good sources for people to use.
Yeah, any suggestions would be helpful, and maybe, I don't know, different places on Twitter too, like certain tags or certain people.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to write some notes, but I think Garrett, you got it, which is also a good thing. Finding these subreddits here. And I think that was also you, right? The TikTok idea. But I think the biggest thing was I believe that might also depend on Mr. Davis time time schedule or time frame, but I believe the idea was making 20 seconds to 30 seconds really quick clips that you can share on your own social media, just to kind of have it going and keep bringing the awareness about Gulli Bot.
Yeah, and this kind of brings up a quick thought. I don't want to derail you too much, but we're talking about building content for Gulli Bot, and I think a lot of times when you're working with businesses and stuff, you'll be building kind of like supplemental content. What I started realizing is that Gulli Bot is kind of like a news site or is a media site, right? So the content that we can be sharing is kind of what Gulli Bot creates. So like snippets and stuff. So also when you're thinking about creating things to share, it could be like there's ability now in Gulli Bot. So right now we're talking about vaccines, and you can take a specific claim in there, like some people are concerned about if we're all vaccinated, does that increase the chance of more variants? Which I have to say probably isn't true, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. But that's the type of thing that's the kind of the built-in content that Gulli Bot has and how to share it. And then I need to think through, when am I sharing as me and when am I sharing as Gulli Bot? Because I think it would be really neat to have a quick thing where Gulli Bot itself comes on, as a character and says, hey, someone just told me that you can get that everyone getting vaccinated will increase variants. Is that right? And then, and then we get more data that we could then feed back into Gulli Bot. So I just had that thought the other day. I wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, I like that idea too. That's pretty good. Gulli Bot doing, and I like how you said that sharing this little snippet. I think that can be also very, very valuable.
And that's really building on your suggestion there, because I'd heard about TikTok, but I haven't dove in yet.
Yeah.
So that was a good idea that y'all suggested.
And Colin, do you want to talk about the blogs that you're writing about?
Yeah, so I did the blogs I did one about like vaccines and COVID and just all the different like conspiracy theories and different like rumors going around about different vaccines, and like how there was like the recall on like the Johnson & Johnson one, and how it was like 6 people out of 6 million that had like issues with it, and just like how there was an issue with heart inflammation for the Pfizer one in teens and stuff. And I just talked about how there's so much information and how GulliBot's a quick way to find all that information, like condensed, and really weed out what's true and what's not. And then I also talked about just fake news in general and how if you really want like actual information that you can rely on, then like you're gonna have to look at like the author, like the news website and like all that stuff and like do your own kind of like research. So I talked about how GulliBot's like an easy way to like get that reliable information without having to like go and do your own research because like that's not practical for someone on like a day-to-day basis that like just wants that information quickly.
Excellent, excellent. So is that something you'll be sharing with me soon? That's that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I guess what we need to think about also is Gullibot's blog, and we could do it both ways. I'm completely open. Some of the posts I definitely wanted to be, this is Gullibot speaking. And some of the posts, so I don't know, Colleen, how if you wrote it from Gullibot's perspective or you wrote it more from a neutral perspective, but maybe we need to think about, and that one sounds like it might be better from an outside perspective rather than Gulli's, but then I need to figure out how to put it on the blog and say that it's not Gulli speaking.
Okay, I wrote it from neutral perspective, but I can do like a draft how it would be from GulliBot's perspective and see how I could incorporate that.
Well, think through and see if you think that that would be good, or if it sounds like Gullibot's tooting its own horn or something. So yeah, give a little thought and just let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. And then if it's not, how do we want to put it? Like, do we want to post it as coming from you, or should it come from me, or as the founder of Gullibot, or just how we should attribute it? So yeah, give some thought.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so next here, so on this side, on the subscribe side, if you look here, engage, I have app with notification in here as well. So we'll talk about it in here. Yes, so here comes the infographic. How do we get them to subscribe or to go on the website and actually engage, join the conversations, or get them onto your email list so that you can start sending these new letters and all of that stuff? So that's where we going in with the infographic. And Dylan, as a freebie, so as a little free gift so that they can join your thing, your list or your program. So Dylan and Garrett were working on the infographic, right? You guys want to talk about it?
Yeah, basically we just made like a little infographic showing. I can share my screen to show you. It's not done yet, but we've just been working on this thing to show off like a little bit of basically like what Gullibot does, I guess. We figured COVID was a good topic to do it about because most of the examples on the Gullibot site are surrounding the COVID vaccine. And so it's kind of related. Where'd it go? Here it is. So we just have like a little chart here, timeline with like, and we figured we'd go through like the different narratives that have come out surrounding COVID and kind of talk about the validity of each one and the sources. And so that would be indicated by the orange and the purple, whether it's like kind of was a narrative that held up or not, because that's how it is on the Gullibot site. It's like the negative claims are the orange and the positive claims are in pink or purple. So here we go. So yeah, that's pretty much what we did for that. And we were making sure it's all branded with the Gullibot stuff. And we'll have links to the site at the bottom and whatever other social media down here I'll put. But that's all we have so far.
Awesome. So were y'all thinking that would be something that they would get? Is that just something that we post to encourage them to subscribe, or is that something they get when they sign up for the newsletter? Because I think Mohammed, you kind of mentioned that.
Yes, that was more my angle. They'll get this little report when they sign up for the newsletter.
So I'm trying to think there's a term for that in marketing, right? I can't remember what it's called. A gift.
Freebie?
Anyway. Yeah, there was another turnaround. I'm thinking it's poking around my head. But yeah, I think this is great graphic, by the way. So I think that's awesome. I'm just wondering if it's something that you're getting for, so we would say, hey, sign up for a newsletter and to get the COVID-19 narrative. I don't know if that's the right topic for
Mm,
a gift to encourage sign up. I think it'd be something more like a tool that they can use, like 5 ways to fight misinformation, or 10 ways to know whether what you're reading is a fact or not, or
Mhm.
some tool that they can use. Is a thought. I just don't know if that's if we tell them that they're going to get this, that'll be something that they'll want to click on. And if they get
Yeah.
this, it'd probably be something they'd want to share. So
And also, like, this infographic, like, we could reuse this template for a multitude of different topics, and like it could be more of like a weekly thing, like something that we send out to people on a consistent basis. Just a little infographic or something in a newsletter, or something that we post on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or Twitter or whatever.
yeah,
So
that's awesome.
mhm. Yeah, definitely.
And will y'all be sharing that template with me in Canva?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think we
Yeah,
should
we
be
can.
done with it by the end of today, probably. I have time. So we can just, I think we just have to fill out information in those different boxes for the dates.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
we already have all the research done. Sorry. And we just have to put it in pretty much.
And so for items like that, but you'll share the template with me. So if I wanted to redo it with different info,
Oh, yeah.
or have you guys do it, then
Mhm.
it would be a shared kind of reusable resource.
Yeah, we could do
Awesome.
that.
It looks great. I love the way that looked.
Yeah, I like it too. And I like the details with the colors, like it's like it is on Gulli Bot. So next, yeah, I think that was a question that we had. Was it Garrett over here? I don't remember.
Yes, I think it was. I guess it was kind of goes back to the engage part too. So I guess it really depends on if Gullybot's gonna be like a website based kind of thing, or if it would branch out into something with like an app where maybe you're just like, I don't know, you're at work or something and you hear like a notification from your phone and it's like the Gullybot app saying, oh, like new trendy topic, like 86% of people are thinking like this about this topic right now, and like swipe for more information or whatever, and you'd like swipe on the app or whatever and you get more information? Or is this like solely website based where you're getting, like weekly updates and you have to like go into the website and check everything that's like new and updated?
I think it would be really good if we had a way to reach out to people directly. I mean, I kind of envision the newsletters being part of that, but the long-term goal is that people could follow a topic, and if someone else comes in and changes Gullibot's mind, they would get a notice and say, here's the new evidence that someone put up, and then they would have an opportunity to come in and counteract that.
Right.
Especially if you say, like, if the score is going down, then I want to know about that. So that would be something that I'd want to do. I think that I don't know that I'll have the bandwidth to build that into it for a while.
Yeah,
But I think that's a good thing to think about.
I think that would be super cool if there was a way to like follow it, like a trendy topic on Gullybot, like hit the follow button and then like I don't know, every like 5 or 10%, like something goes up or down, you just
Right.
get like those notifications, and you're just staying up to date on it. And you can add more if you are passionate about that topic, or you can read about other topics that you might not be as passionate about or like interested about.
Even also, I was just thinking if you could like a browser extension, or like if you were on an article, it would be like, do you want to share this to Gulli And it pops up right there. So it's like quick and easy so you could share that right there.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
And maybe a while before I have enough resources to handle that, but yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We were just, I think at this stage, one of the things we were really talking about was how we weren't sure about was how you wanted to monetize this, if you wanted to at all, or like if you wanted to run ads on the site, or
I think right now it's
yeah.
just Patreon or some other
Mhm.
subscribe service. Could be Buy Me a Coffee or something like
Mhm.
that. And then and then I might do ads, but there's a lot of people that don't trust sites, rightfully so, that are ad
Mhm.
based. So I have to find a way to be very minimal about it. So I think just Patreon, hopefully some people will find value in this resource existing and they'll be willing to donate. And then in Patreon, though, I'd like to have monthly or weekly open calls where people can come in, talk about different, and have the people on Patreon actually like be able to suggest the topics and vote them up and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So make them be the kind of the source for the content.
Mhm. I do think that's a really good way to go with monetization, especially building a platform from the ground up like this. Like, uh, having it completely free in the beginning, just to build up that base. It's really easily accessible, and then have the payment optional for people who really see the value in it and want to get more involved. I think that's a good model, and I think it'll lead to growth faster, but might not be able to make as much money off of it. But you know, it doesn't seem like that's a big priority in this project.
Yeah, it's really a side project. The more donors we get, the more like journalists I can hire, the more input we can take, and the less I have to work on my
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. Because I do contract software engineering, so if I start getting a lot of donors, I'll do less contract work and I'll spend more time on Gulli Bot. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really a side project, yeah. So we're looking to maybe make the world a little better, if possible. And this is really a social experiment. It may be that we find out Gulli Bot doesn't work for a reason. Like people would never trust something that has the word gullible in its name. So we'll have to change everything. So yeah, this isn't the point yet where we can just pour gasoline on it and get a lot of funding or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the right way to think about it. So I'm glad to hear that you agree that Patreon or some service like that is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Even I was just thinking also like with the podcast, you can just like whatever you're talking about on the podcast, you can just at the end of it just be like, all right, and you can like continue this conversation in Gullibot and like find out more about that. So that's just an easy way to get people on the site if they're already listening and then they just want to find out more, they can go right to Gullibot.
Yeah, I hope so. And that's a good idea, is also to put in a Gulli Bot for each topic. Like this Monday, we're doing about that House, the HR1, the Voter Rights Act that got squashed recently. So yeah, it'd be interesting. I've thought about, hopefully I'll have time to put in a Gulli Bot one for that. And the other contributors in that podcast, it's a panel of people. So they also have their own projects or podcasts. So I think we're each going to kind of plug our own thing as part of it. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I think there's so much opportunity, especially with the podcast. And I know you said that you weren't very, um, I guess know how to use like something like TikTok or something. I just know that in like our generation that we are always trying to consume so much information. We want to get it as fast as possible. So I think if there was a way on like the podcast or something, I know this is just like an idea or whatever, but if you're able to get those like 10 to 15-second clips about like, hey, like on Gullibot this week, we're talking about this trendy topic, like, and then you have like, like those links in the bio or in the comment section. Cause I know that those sites like TikTok are like huge. And I know that the younger generations want to, especially with COVID and everything that's happened, they want to stay up to date on the news. I know a lot of friends now that are like super nerdy about the news because they want to know everything that's happening, and it's affected their lives so much. So I think that's like a great way to engage with that.
Is TikTok like Facebook where they expect real names, or could I do an account for Gulli Bot? Is that accepted?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
it's
do anything you want. You could totally do an account for Gulli Bot.
Well,
It's like did you ever use Vine when that was a thing?
No,
It's
but
okay.
I
Well,
remember it.
it's kind of like that. It's all short form video based content, so it's all like roughly a minute. I think some people can go over a minute or something like that, like kind of like Twitter's word limit, but it's all like right around a minute long videos.
Yeah, I would say for TikTok, probably the like 15 to 20 seconds is probably best because I know people, if they're too long, they'll just like skip right through them.
Yeah. And getting
Yeah,
skips probably reduces your reach.
Yeah.
yeah. I just wanted to add on there, the update as of last time I checked, which was probably last week, you can make videos up to 3 minutes on TikTok, but I don't think it's released to all of the accounts yet. But that is the biggest idea. It's what I like to call short doses of value, like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, real quick. And especially with people like Mr. Davis that are busy entrepreneurs and also tech people, this is really what they want. So if you get the time bandwidth to do it, I think this going that route will be the best way for you.
Awesome.
The shorter videos. And coming back to what you guys were saying earlier with all of the monetization ideas, these were the app ideas with the updates. These were mostly like you said, Mr. Davis, a little bit in the future when you have maybe more time and more resources to improve and make the app a little better. And I really like the notification ideas and also the ESPN example, because that's what Garrett was talking about the other day. I don't know if you guys ever use some of these news apps, but coming back to the newsletter model, to kind of build that database, you can have that free app with a level of service, level of information, like Garrett was saying, with the notifications about the changes and things like that. And then on the conversion side, you can go a little extra step like ESPN Plus or HBO Plus or even Netflix. Just have a little subscription in there with more content or a different type of content or some kind of extra value. That was second idea, because the Patreon is already one idea, and that one was just a second idea to monetize. And again, connecting to the exciting part, because these three are kind of connected. Sorry. The more bonuses, if you kind of pay attention sometimes, Mr. Davis, on a lot of the landing pages, you will see that the package is, you have the price, you have the value, and under you see they have bonus 1, bonus 2, bonus 3, bonus 4. So the more of these, not necessarily bonuses, but the more value you can have that will get people more excited. That's pretty much the idea. So here, let's say we have the ESPN Plus app idea. The bonus could be summary of the past week's information and upcoming trends or important data for the next month or for this month, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was just one idea as a bonus that can get people excited to get the Gulli Bot Plus app, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah. So these were here, and then again, this can be, I'll be sharing this with you as well so that you have the whole thing. I'll clean it up a little bit and share that with you. And then here, we can also find, of course, later on, different ways to get them more value, having a reward system for the top contributors. Let's say here in your Patreon, once you start having some donors, you do your weekly meetings, and then you're getting feedback from them on the topics. The top contributors in there, we can have a little reward system to have more, sorry about that, to have more incentive for them to share or have their friends join in or whatever it is, but just a little reward system to just for the top contributors. And then after that, more in the future, having an affiliate program if he gets to that. So that was pretty much the whole customer value journey and some of the ideas we had.
Awesome.
Make this in bold here. Okay. And do you have any more? And then we'll share the blog and the infographic as soon as possible as well. But do you have any questions for us, or do you guys have any questions for Mr. Davis?
I don't have any. Looks great. I appreciate all the work.
Okay. Oh, you guys don't have any questions too? All right. So let me stop the share here. That was pretty much everything that I wanted to share. And then we'll also share the blogs and the infographics as soon as possible. But the meeting is officially over.
Right.